outer political, inner spiritual revolution.
All right.
Do we need one?
I think there has to be all of them. It's you, in fact, that turned me on to that, Buckminster Fuller fella. Because our sense, the realm of the senses is so limited, we can only see between infrared light and ultraviolet light, we can only hear a limited decibel range, we think reality is what we can apportion through the limited instruments of the senses, but reality is, of course, far beyond that. Spiritual data, we don't have the correct instruments to receive it, and we live primarily in the realm of the senses. You've got to look at the whole thing, the whole reality, the maximum positive impact for the 100% of humanity without ecological damage as soon as possible. I think everyone's got to be really nice. Certain cultural narratives are promoted that are beneficial only to elites. These cultural narratives are not true. We need to realign the cultural narratives that we promote. So if there are, the only reality that is relevant is we have this planet. There are this many people on the planet. There are these resources. Any system that is in conflict with the even distribution of the resources to the people is a disingenuous and illusory system. All these things are just ideas. America, just an idea. England, just an idea. What is the relevance of the resurrection of Christ, some guy 2,000 years ago, if we are not constantly resurrected into the moment anew? I think what Christianity is referring to with this resurrection myth is that the dead human ape has fulfilled its potential. The dead human ape has not evolved for the last 10,000 years. These are the achievements of the dead human ape. Now we must transform, become enlightened, so that we can access the next realm of consciousness necessary for evolution. All religions are true in that the metaphor is true. The metaphor is true, that we are all one, that there is a system for attaining this oneness. Let go of temporary, transient ideas like individualism. The nature of monotheistic faiths, these dead desert religions, is to encode us with the idea that individualism is more important than paganism, ideologies that integrally relate us to the earth, so that we know that we are integrally, indefatigably related to our environment, and we live in the service of our environment because self is a temporal illusion. What we need to do now is to recognise that these spiritual principles have political ramifications, aka socialism. So, these things have to be materialised and politicised. We attain it within ourselves initially, and we communicate these ideas on a personal level. Spirituality, I can get, as you've just heard, I can be very verbose and loquacious on the topic, but really it just means be nice. It ain't hard, just be nice. You meet a homeless person, be nice. You get into a cab, be nice to the person. Don't see yourself as adversarial. Then the revolution has already occurred. People fear Armageddon, don't they? People fear the apocalypse, don't they? But for some, Armageddon has already occurred. The homeless people that walk our streets live already in a post-apocalyptic world. Armageddon will surely come for each of us, our own personal Armageddon, when each of us die. Isn't it redundant whether everyone simultaneously dies if each of us will individually die? Regardless, Armageddon is coming. What I'm saying is that what we have to do is individually reach our own personal alignment. We have to do that. The principles are all there, you know this. The principles are already there. We achieve detachment. Once we can achieve enlightenment, and once we put our satisfaction beyond our individual needs, we are no longer malleable by the pre-existing system. The system requires us to be a selfish little consumerist pods. Use what you have for God. Dedicate yourself to God. We don't have to worry about God, just means higher things. Difficult for us to comprehend and ascertain with our limited sensory realm. Cannot understand the ocean of reality in the teacup of the mind. Probably Rumi.
What's your best evidence for the existence of God?
I feel the gentle, playful spirit of God in nature. Sometimes I feel it within myself, in quiet. For me, remember, it's a difficult concept. For me, it is life. It is consciousness. Consciousness itself is God. You cannot allow consciousness to become refracted into an abstract idea such as individualism. Individualism is a material, sensorial, biological notion which we can conquer through the expansion of consciousness. Why live on this dimension? Why live only on this frequency once we know other frequencies exist? We have an obligation for the evolution of our species to continue to pioneer. This is the country of the pioneer. How's it going to reflect the changes? Well, I think that our last lot that already know this stuff have to sort of be cool and relaxed and be ready to protest in a relaxed way, recognise the causes that are in alignment with what we want, and so that we can coalesce, not get all bogged down in the same egotistical pitfalls that have befell our great heroes of the 60s. I suppose we need to popularise different ideas. I mean, the reason that I dress in this way, the reason that I regard material possessions as valuable is because my entire life I've been subject to messages that told me that this was precisely the truth, that they generate initially a sense of fear and a sense of absence within the self, a sense of fear and absence which needs to be fulfilled and addressed. interest. They then tell you that the solution to this fear is to engage in consumerism and to raise your self-esteem comparatively through symbols in other media. This is what will make you happy. This is what will make you happy. You know that the products used to be sold on the basis of utility. You have feet, you need shoes. Not of utility and need, but on the basis it will make them feel better. Then the way that the products became marketed was, buy these shoes, you will feel cool. This is a significant difference, because otherwise once people own shoes, they've got shoes. Once people own a washing machine, they've got a washing machine. We need to be trapped in a cycle of fear and need so that we remain docile and malleable. Now, like, obviously I have not managed to avoid this system. I'm completely a product of it.